For ACUsports.com, I'm Grant Boone as we talk some golf with the season upon us. We've got head coach Tom Shaw. With most of the nation suffering in the icy clutches of a polar vortex, coach, you're taking your team south here to Mobile, Alabama, next week to start the season. Tell us about this event coming up. It's hosted by, I believe, University of South Alabama, and then tell us about the rest of your schedule leading up to conference.
Yes, this is a tournament we've played in the last couple of years. It is a chance to go down south. It's sea level, though, so the ball doesn't carry as far as it does in West Texas, so we have to adapt and adjust. But the weather will be warmer. We're going to face a little bit of rain, too, but that's just the nature of golf. We're an outdoor sport, so we have to be ready for anything. I think the rest of our schedule plays out kind of that way, too. We're always kind of heading south in the spring. A lot of tournaments in Texas. We have one in Tampa, Florida, which the guys are excited about over spring break. So, I mean, we could do worse.
This venue where you're playing next week has hosted some big-time events, hasn't it?
It has. LPGA Champions Tour. They just had Q School there this year, and the scores were pretty low. So it is a championship golf course, and we're going to see Florida State and Louisville there. So we got our work cut out for us.
Let's talk a little bit about your team and what you learned about them in the fall season.
Well, we learned we're deeper than we used to be. We have a lot of young guys that are playing very well right now. In fact, our lineup going to Mobile will be one of the youngest that we've ever put out there. The constant in all of our tournaments is Garrett Glanton. He's a senior and has played in 99% of all of our tournaments. But we have 3 sophomores and a freshman going. So we're going to be young, but I think more talented than we've ever been. So I think the fall has bore that out, and I think the spring is exciting for some guys to step up and really kind of make their claim for the starting lineup.
We have some new Wildcats headed here this fall. They'll be freshmen. A couple that you've announced, one that you're not ready to announce yet, but tell us about these 2 that you can mention.
Yeah, Logan Diamede, left-hander from Argyle, Texas. It'll be our first left-hander, which is about time for that. Great young player, just kind of right down the middle, fairway greens, great putter and chipper. Zane is probably twice the size of Logan. Zane's about 6'5". And comes from Oklahoma, and he's so excited to be here. His mom went to school here. He is just purple through and through. And the other one that we're going to announce soon is just going to be the same, cut from the same cloth. They're going to be 3 great additions to our program for next year.
This has been a big year in golf already, beginning on January 1 because of the rules changes. And the one that really jumps out at a lot of people is the fact that now you can leave the flag stick in when you're putting while on the green. Used to be a 2-stroke penalty if that were to have happened, the ball going in with the flag stick in. Now it's not. There are a lot of other rules changes as well. You played at a very high level on the Web.com tour for years. You've, I'm sure, looked at the rules. Do your players, have you discussed this with them? Is this a big topic of conversation?
Well, we have. I walked them through a USGA course on that, and there's a lot of video and stuff out there that's very helpful for that. It is a change. I think the leaving the flag stick in, I know personally I hate to see it. I'm just not used to it. We have some players that...
You don't need it because you make so many putts.
That's not true. Some of our players like it. Other players don't, so I'm going to leave it up to them. We're going to experiment with it. And I think the rest of the rules are kind of – I think a lot of college teams are in the same boat. We're just not sure how they're going to play out, and I think the USGA is seeing that as well. And we see it on the pro tours right now. Guys are adjusting to just a little different nuance with the rules, and so we'll see what the year bears out.
When in doubt, ask. That's not a bad idea for PGA Tour and LPGA players as well. Most important thing for you next week, what do you want to see as the season gets started?
Well, I want to see guys coming out showing that they did something over the off season. Sometimes you're worried as a coach because it's been 4 months since we've competed in a tournament. Yeah. So that's a long stretch for anybody. And I'd like to see our guys come out ready to go. Big for us is always being able to adapt and adjust to different environments. This course is tree lined with pine trees. It's not something we typically see in Abilene, Texas. So I want to see the guys adjust, adapt well, and also compete hard. Whether we finish first or last, I just want the guys to compete well and be able to adapt to the conditions.
The 2019 golf season at ACU begins next Monday down in Mobile, Alabama.